Good evening, and welcome to the January 2026 Park Board meeting. Let's start out with our flag salute. Everybody please stand. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Happy, healthy New Year, everybody. Mr. Chad Thompson, roll call, please.
Chair Mickey DiPaolo.
Here.
Vice Chair Robert Brody. Here. Board Member Farah Asadi.
Present.
Board Member Maisha Gamino.
Here.
Board Member Ara Maserlian.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Announcements. I'd like to introduce Mr. Ricardo Corrado.
Good evening, Chair Mickey DiPaolo and members of the board. Thank you to everyone joining us this evening. My name is Ricky Corrado, Senior Recreation Leader in the Parks and Recreation Department. Tonight, I have the pleasure of sharing the department's program announcements and updates. Please begin the slideshow. North Pole Plunge. Get ready for the North Pole Plunge at the Verdugo Aquatic Facility on January 10 from 12:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Enjoy winter-themed games and activities, family-friendly music, hot chocolate, and a chance to take a picture with Burr Bear. Bring your friends and family for a cool afternoon together. Visit www.burbankparks.com. Get your tickets today. Story Owl Hour. Join us for Story Owl Hour, a monthly program that features nature-themed story read by the Burbank Public Library staff, followed by a hands-on activity led by Burbank Parks and Recreation staff. This event is perfect for children ages 2 to 5. Each month's theme brings new discoveries, and selected books will be available for checkout. Visit burbankparks.com to register today. Wild Creature Walk. Step into the great outdoors and discover the amazing wildlife right here in Burbank. Join us on January 25th from 11:30 a.m. through 12:30 p.m. for a Dokent-led hike where you can learn about the Verdugo Mountains and the animals that call these trails home. This family-friendly adventure is a great way to explore nature, ask questions, and see the mountains from a whole new perspective. Register today at burbankparks.com. All right, Moonlight Hike. Join us for a Moonlight Hike on February 2nd. Enjoy a unique evening workout while basking in the full moon's glow. Hike times vary depending on sunset. Visit burbankparks.com for details and to register. Don't miss your chance to experience nature in a whole new light. Burbank Adaptive Sports Expo. Join us for the 3rd annual Burbank Adaptive Sports Expo, BASE, on February 21st, 2026, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at McCambridge Recreation Center. This is a free and inclusive event, celebrates athletes of all abilities, features more than 20 adaptive sports, and includes a vendor and resource fair with helpful programs and services. Registration is required. Visit www.burbankca.gov/base to learn more and to register. Dig Burbank. Join the Dig Burbank volunteers on February 7th at 8 a.m. as they help care for our parks and keep our community beautiful. Lend a hand with planning and cleanup, meeting new people, and making a positive impact right here in Burbank. All ages are welcome, and tools and supplies are provided. Learn more at www.burbankca.gov/Dig Burbank. Real Madrid Leyendas versus Barca Legends soccer game. The City of Burbank invites you to experience the Legends Series LA featuring Real Madrid Leyendas versus Barca Legends. Join us on February 22nd at 2 p.m. at BMO Stadium for an unforgettable soccer match. Visit tls-tickets.com to get your tickets today. Follow us. Stay in the loop with the latest Parks and Recreation updates by connecting with us on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you. This concludes the department announcements.
Wow. One of the
best we've heard, wouldn't you say?
Thank you, Mr. Coronado. Department Director Report, Ms. Garcia.
Good evening, Chair DiPaolo and Park Board members. I do not have a report for you this evening.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we go to public comment. Now's the time for general public comment. For members of the public who are here in person and wish to speak, please present a completed cream general public comment card to the recording secretary. Any person speaking during general public comment may address the board on any matter related to the Parks and Recreation Board. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. Excuse me. In order to promote fairness, please stay within your maximum allotted time of 3 minutes. A timer is available on the podium to help the speaker keep track of how much time is left. Please state your name for the record. I also encourage you to call in during the general public comment period at 818-238-3335. Callers will be placed in a queue until all in-person comments have been received. For callers, please remember to lower the volume on your TV or computer and take your phone off speaker when you deliver your public comment. At this time, we will begin with the in-person comments. The first speaker card I have is Joel Schlossman.
Outstanding. You said my name just right.
Welcome, sir.
Welcome, Mr. DiPaolo. I also, along with you, want to wish everybody a safe and healthy new year.
Thank you.
Yep. I'm grateful for all of your service to each of you, and I'm going to talk to the city council members, and I promise you I'm going to get them to double your salary. It was 25 years ago that I was a stay-at-home dad, had my first boy, and I wanted to participate in a program called Mommy and Me. This was over at the school district, and I went over there and they didn't want to enroll me for obvious reasons. And the name of that class in itself, Mommy and Me, was discriminatory. And of course I made a big deal out of it and I enrolled and I participated with that boy and all my other children as well. And I'm very proud to say that particular kid is now a medical doctor, and you know I'm proud of him. Okay, so I get this flyer in the mail, and I've gotten it a number of times, and it's talking about Burbank University women. And this is a group that holds a meeting over here at the Joslin Center. And I went to the meeting last month, and well, hold on that. The group invites all women over 55 who have completed 60 units or more of college work to apply for membership. Well, it turns out that this group of university women is not affiliated with the national group. They used to be. But they're using a public facility where my tax dollars go. And I feel that it's discriminatory in several ways. And I'm here to ask you to consider it, what I'm saying, and perhaps make the appropriate changes. Because different groups, of course, are protected state and federally. We're not allowed to discriminate, and we shouldn't discriminate. They say they're open to women who have completed 60 units or more of college classes. Well, if you think about the age group of the people we're talking about and go back 60 years, if you were a Mexican person, an Asian person, a black person, so many others, a Jewish person maybe, you were discriminated when you wanted to go to college. Maybe you were just a poor person and couldn't afford it. So we have a group of women, in this case, that were discriminated all these decades ago, and they can't participate now because they're being discriminated against by this group. And if they want to hold these meetings on a private facility, that's their business, more power to them. But when you hold these meetings in a publicly funded, my tax dollars, facility, we should not be discriminated. Now, I'm out of time. Can I have 20 more seconds?
You out of time? No, we have to cut it at that time, sir. Thank you so much.
So many people that want to talk.
Okay, the next person I have is Tori Chrisman.
thank you for letting me speak. Can
You're
you
very
hear me?
welcome.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, thank you all for helping my community. I've been here since 1982, living in Burbank, and I'm just kind of new to connecting with the different councils and things. My main concern, and I know it's going to sound a little bit odd, but I was in a cult for 30 years. And that exact cult is now trying to get into Burbank, and they are very much into pulling in young kids. And I know this from experience. And so I just want to warn you guys to look into it. If you type in their name, everything's wonderful. But if you look deeper to all of us who were in it and are now out, you'll see that it's not all wonderful, and you really should know what you're getting into if you accept them into your group. And the group is called Scientology. That's it. Anyway, I trained John Travolta years ago, and I was in it for a long time. And then I woke up in 2000. I realized they're really after money. That's it, money. And they are after young people because we're innocent. That's how I got in. I was very young. So anyway, I just recommend you guys look at both sides and make up your own mind. That's all.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here.
Okay, the next card I have, I'd only have the first name, Joe.
That's me.
Good evening.
Good evening. Again, thank you also.
Would you prefer a mic or?
Yeah, I think it's easier. Thank you. I go by, I'm Joe. I go by Audit LA. I have to do my best to kind of protect myself because I am somebody that protests and advocates for the victims of Scientology. And I mean, although they already know who I am, they send people to my neighbors to harass them. They harass my family. They do that. But I'm here because I know they came, I believe they came and spoke before you, but they came as a drug-free world. And that is a front group for Scientology. So if they're coming here and saying, oh, we want to put programs in your park, we want to help you with your vaping problem, we want to help you with your, the cannabis issues, we're here to help. They're not here to help, okay? They are here to recruit. And like Ms. Torrey said, it is a horrible, horrible entity, when you're in it, because I've known too many victims. I advocate for them. I help them, I'm trying to help them get justice, and I mostly speak in LA, because that's where, they are for the most part, but I found out that they are trying to get involved here through drug-free world. And I'm here to warn you, that way, because I'm never gonna, wherever they go, I will always sit here and, it's not discriminating if people want to believe in whatever belief system they have, but their actions, their behaviors, what they do is very predatory, and it's harmful. And I don't want to see the city, because I live a few miles down the road. I don't want to see the city get tricked. And I came yesterday, I spoke to the youth, and I'm going to come to city council. I'm going to come until hopefully at least and to bring some awareness, because they will not help you. They will do that to recruit your youth, recruit families. They want to recruit a lot of people because they're having a hard time recruiting at this stake, but at this time. So they recruit a lot of people from other countries. And I've been doing this for several years now, and it's just a fact. So I am here just to bring notice that if they did come, I believe they did, because I read that they were coming here to speak a couple months ago, that to please really look into it, drug-free world. They say, and the thing about separation of church and state, so they will tell you it's a secular organization, it's not religious, but it's all based on L. Ron Hubbard Tech, which is their... Right, under the umbrella. It's their religion. So it is religious. It's just that they know how to do it like a shell game. So they have many different organizations. You may see Narcanon, Criminon, and if you look at Narcanon, and they do not believe in psychiatry, they do not believe in mental health help, they do not believe in medical help. Ms. Torrey almost died because they would not let her take her meds. And they believe that there's so much more to say, but at another time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
speaking on amazing arts grants, Leah Harrison. Good evening.
Good evening. Hello. Hi. So good to be here. I am here on behalf of the Cultural Arts Commission. My name is Leah Harrison. I am a member. And I just wanted to come to you tonight and thank you so much for the past few years supporting the funds that will go to our arts grant. And I believe that the fabulous Aaron Barros is here to give you a report about the funding that we would like to do again this year. And I'm just so filled with gratitude to you and to the city that we have been able to implement this grants program. It's in its third year. It kind of came out of the pandemic when that city council agreed that artists were having a problem with work. Now we've had the 2 strikes, and because Burbank has a lot of their economy based in the creative arts, we thought that we could give a helping hand. And the Parks and Rec Board, and I have to say, the staff has been phenomenal. Marissa, Chris, Aaron, Bryce, Jocelyn, let me not forget Jocelyn, thank you. And they really just made this phenomenal program that other cities don't have. We are able to also, I have a seat along with Christy on the LA County Board for Arts for municipal cities, and out of the 88 incorporated cities, Burbank is, there's under 10, and we were able to implement this. So it's been just a thrill to see the staff be able to take this and run with it and make it a program that is beyond amazing and has really, I believe, helped the heart and soul of our city. So thank you for your support, and I hope you support it again tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, the last card I have is also on Community Arts Grant. Eric Connor. Good evening.
Good evening and Happy New Year. I
Happy New
think
Year.
we're still allowed to say that. So my name's Eric Connor. I've been on the Cultural Arts Commission since 2019. In fact, I joined in about half a year later, COVID started. So my experience early on was so exciting, and then all of a sudden, of course, we were all in our own little, I don't know, cocoons, pods, whatever we used to call them. But one thing that was really special about the Cultural Arts Commission is we got to work. We found ways to do events, virtual events, with almost no resources, and we kept people connected. And now cut to 2026, I still can't believe we've reached that year. And, oh, was that my time? Let the record show I was silent. Thank you so much. Actually, I don't need even 2 minutes. But I will say now cut to oh, he's cutting me short again, by the way. I'm looking at this number. Got my eye on you, sir. It has been so exciting now over the last 2 years to see the city supporting such a wide array of art. I am also a resident of Burbank. I'm a parent. I'm an educator myself. And to take my kids, my wife, my friends, my family to see these various events that have happened in part because of the support your board has given, the support the city council has given, the support the staff has given. It's a really wonderful jewel. Amidst, one thing I'll just add, the chaos of what's been happening in the entertainment industry. With, of course, every day reading who's going to try and grab Warner Brothers next. One thing that's been really consistent is how this city is supporting its residents, its artists, its creatives. So thank you so much. And I can assure you, Aaron and Christy have done such a wonderful job of going through so many proposals and being really fair and finding ways to support a variety of arts once again. So I look forward to hearing their presentation. I'm sure you will as well. But thank you again. It has been such an honor to be part of this commission and to see the work that has been produced largely due to your support. So thank you so much.
Thank you. We have no more cards?
We have one phone call.
Oh, one phone call. Okay. Okay, are we on the line now? Good evening.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we sure can. If you could
Hi,
step,
good evening, John Brown. I'd like to speak on all items, and I am an investigative reporter. I run a website called auditthegovernment.org, and I want to echo some of the sentiments made by
excuse me just a minute,
two
sir.
very brave women that
Wait, yeah, we're getting a little static. Hold on just a moment, please.
Is that better?
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, good evening. My name is John Brown. I run a website called auditthegovernment.org, and I want to speak to you on some of the sentiments that the two brave women earlier mentioned. And it's about the Church of Scientology infiltrating the city of Burbank. To keep it relevant to the Parks and Recreation Department, one of the areas in which they like to infiltrate the city is through frivolous special events permits, and it's all with the intent to capture public streets and actually vacate them for their own private ownership at the detriment of the public. There's actually right now a prosecution and litigation that the city of Los Angeles is facing for this very same Establishment Clause violation for the series of practices where they have solicited illegal special events permits to close down a public street in order to suppress First Amendment activity and sought favoritism as a part of their religious status. It does get more nefarious than that, though. They do have various front groups, some of which the names you've heard, called Drug Free World, in which they try to infiltrate public schools, and they practice non-evidence-based, non-scientific-based, non-medicine-based ideologies and propaganda that try to peddle a basically self-inflicted, damaged way of thinking where somebody that succumbs to drug addiction, it's the addict's fault, and therefore they're going to prescribe their religiosity onto them instead of scientific evidence-based treatment. It's a very nefarious organization, and I think the city of Burbank, especially the new mayor, needs to know, the community needs to know that this is happening right now to the school boards, where Scientology is knocking on the doors via these front groups. They're trying to masquerade and hide their name and not show that they're Scientology. Narconon is another such organization, and so is another organization called the Citizen Commission on Human Rights. And so I urge this board to be aware of that. I think the community deserves better. I think that our children deserve better. And with that, I'll yield the rest of my time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for your comment. Do we have any other speakers? See no other speakers, we will now close the public comment period. Any response from my colleagues on the board regarding public comment? Okay, seeing no, let's move on. Written communications. No, any written communications?
I'm sorry, Chair DePaula, we do not have any written communications. If I may, if I could just speak briefly on, I want to thank all the speakers that came, and we appreciate all the valuable input. I do want to just respond to one, Mr. Schlossman's concern. We do have a group, the group that he mentioned, that is a group that has our club meetings at the Joslin Adult Center. What I have already asked from our staff is to work with our city attorney's office to make sure that we are not, we're not inadvertently discriminating against any groups. And if there's any alterations or changes we need to make, we will make those changes. So I just want to make sure that he knows that we heard him, and that we will be addressing that concern. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Garcia. And Mr. Schlossman, thank you. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the caller and the two speakers regarding the Scientology. Excuse me. I don't personally remember them speaking at this specific meeting. They may have spoken at potentially council or something else. I was trying to, as you guys were speaking, I was trying to make the correlation to how it pertains to our board and the business that we run. And so I was having a hard time with that, but then when the caller called, I kind of was like, okay, I kind of get how we would potentially would affect us, where he was talking about they get permits at parks, close down things, and try to solicit whoever's there, youth, whatever it is. So I would just, I've heard of Scientology, obviously. I know I kind of side with you guys on it. I'm not going to get into a political thing here, but appreciate you guys giving us, the heads up on what they stand for from your perspective. And what I would just say to the staff in general, just for something like that or anything else, is as you guys get permits for parks, I'm sure you guys are very judicious in who you allow to get permits. And if somebody does get a permit that is using it for purposes that should not be used at a park, I know we have a security patrol program in place now. So I'm hopeful that if they do see activity that is not what a permit is supposed to be used for, that they would report that, and that organization would obviously never be allowed to get a permit again. And I know our city does a good job of reviewing the permitting and making sure, and I'm sure now with a lot of the names that you threw out there, that the organizations they go through, that they would be very mindful of that as they issue permits. But I know we do have a park patrol program that's been very effective, and so hopefully if that somehow they slip through the cracks and they have it and they're doing stuff at a park that they're not supposed to, I'm assuming there's a good chance it would be caught and nipped in the bud. So that's what I wanted to address on that.
If I could, I just want to briefly touch on that. I know these lovely young ladies spoke to our youth board, which was very appreciative and very appropriate to the youth board as well. With regards to permits, we have an obligation to ensure people have their First Amendment rights. So we don't screen necessarily the permits, but we are obviously looking to make sure that we have some control as to what activities take place in our parks that are appropriate and legal and all of those things. Where I think there is a nexus and where we would be and we are, but we'll certainly, now that we some additional information shared with us, is that when we invite groups to present to speak at our youth board or youth leadership program, or have certain we vet those organizations very thoroughly, and I think that's where this matter does apply to the board and to our department, that we need to continue doing our due diligence to make sure that whichever groups we invite or we partner with, we are doing the best job to fully vet them and make sure that they are somebody that we want to be associated with. And so this information is certainly helpful to us. So thank you.
I have a comment. Welcome to our youth board liaison, who's here this evening for the first meeting with us. So thank you for coming. And youth board also had their meeting yesterday, and they swore in any remaining members that hadn't been sworn in yet. They selected their goals for the year, which is also going to include the extravaganza at Jocelyn Center in March. And they selected some other goals. They saw a presentation from Boys and Girls Club, and then also heard about the new Central Library potential plans, and also the new public plaza plans for the Central Library. So very exciting. It's in the community engagement phase, so early days, but really, really good, productive meeting. So welcome. Thank you for joining us.
We're lucky to have these young people on the youth board, so thank you very much for serving.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Thanks to my fellow board member, Maisha, I attended as our liaison the Art and Public Places meeting this past Monday. And I'm, having been on that committee myself many years ago and now back as the Parks and Rec liaison, I'm so proud of the work that they're doing, and having Grace there and Marissa over that. That is really bringing the arts through these public dollars to our city. And I want to say to my fellow board members and to anyone who's listening, we recently had someone withdraw. There is an opening on Art in Public Places, and I would encourage anyone who's interested in furthering art in our city to submit an application. I think, has it been posted, Marissa? Is it out there?
I don't have that information, but certainly we invite everybody who's interested, thank you for that, to connect with our city clerk's office. Typically a press release is issued, and I have not seen it come across yet. But the opening application period is typically 30 days. So once that is out, we will certainly make sure that it's promoted through the city's social media. Thank you.
It's just an amazing committee. We vet and review art for the city, and it was my first exposure to volunteering with the city, and it's amazing. So I would encourage anyone with that interest to apply. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Okay, any other comments? Seeing no more further comments from our board. New business. Number one, the 2026 FIFA World Cup Los Angeles 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games update. Mr. Edgar Manukian.
Good evening, everybody, and Happy New Year. Today, I'm going to be providing an update to Council on how the City of Burbank is preparing and engaging for the 2026 FIFA World Cup and the Los Angeles 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games. All super excited. I'm actually very honored to be speaking about this today. So, Parks and Recreation is leveraging these events to expand adaptive and exclusive recreation, build regional and international partnerships, create long-term community legacy benefits. To begin, Parks and Rec Department continues to expand recreation offerings, strengthening adaptive and inclusive programming, focusing on increased access, meaningful community engagement, equitable opportunities for residents of all abilities. Global events provide a framework to social existing work, not start from scratch. To begin, in October 17, 2024, we were part of a regional gathering hosted by Los Angeles City Mayor Karen Bass with a delegation from the Paris 2024 Olympics and Paralympics, sharing lessons learned about accessibility, sustainability, public transportation, safety, public and private partnerships. This reinforces surrounding cities like Burbank to play a critical role and not just Los Angeles. Building off that, in March of 2025, the Parks and Recreation Department was selected for a Million Coaches Training Grant. Led by the National Parks and Recreation Association, this partnership included Positive Coaching Alliance. The regional workshop focused on youth development, social emotional learning, mental health, and sports, and it was open to all families across San Fernando Valley and San Gabriel Valley. We actually hosted 4 trainings throughout a 3 to 4 month period where we had a total of roughly 200 people participating. Parents, coaches, players all joined these trainings, and we hosted them at McCambridge Recreation Center, at the Community Service Building as well, in different locations. So in total, we had 4 trainings over about a 4 month period. Additionally, in March of 2025, the City of Burbank was awarded the 26 Champions Grant. This Champions Grant program, administered by the LA 84 Foundation through its Play Equity Fund, recognizes nonprofit and municipal organizations that use soccer as a tool to promote equity, inclusion, and community connection across Los Angeles County. The grant supports adaptive and inclusive soccer programming, and in this case, for our grant, we apply for our Power Chair Soccer program. It also includes $26,000 in funding, a professionally produced spotlight video that will be regional and nationally recognized leading up to the FIFA World Cup in 2026. This positions Burbank as a regional leader in inclusive sports. To highlight some of these events that we've been part of over the time, since March, this was their 1 year out event. In the center, you have Inglewood's mayor. To the left and right, you have, to the left, you have the leader of the Los Angeles Sports and Entertainment Commission. And to the right, you have the Play Equity Fund president. Along there are the other members of the 26 Champions Grant. More recently, we actually just hosted this event in the new year. We had a Real Madrid Soccer Club clinic. It was open to 75 participants where we hosted them at Burbank High School. This clinic was a success, actually, even though we dealt with a lot of rain right after the new year. Thankfully, with Burbank High School, they were very supportive in their field. Kids loved it. Community members loved it. It was a whole new experience, and we hope to actually have many more of these events. The gentleman there in this photo is actually their coach for their Spanish team in Madrid. So he's actually their youth coach over there for all the under 18 children. And again, as mentioned during our announcements, we will be hosting a Legends match between two of the greater teams in soccer, between football, between Real Madrid and Barcelona. Legends match at BMO Stadium to highlight some of the names that will be included. If anybody knows these players, Ronaldinho, Figo, and our referee will be Colina, who is a very well-known referee. But additionally, you do have the picture there of all 75 participants that were included in the training. You have kids as young as 6 years old, all the way to the age of 16 in attendance. You can't tell, but that is the last day where there was no more rain and no more worries. But the days before, we had plenty of rain to work with. But the kids did enjoy it. Everybody did have fun. So many more to come, hopefully, in the near future. Part of our 26 Champions Grant, we did host our first Power Chair Soccer match and competition. We did utilize this time as our highlight video that will be showcased prior to the FIFA World Cup. Using our athletes of our Power Chair program, we were able to have a great match that day. We actually ended up in a tie, so hopefully we'll have a part 2 soon. But during this time, we did have all the kids being recorded or videoed for a commercial that will be held before the World Cup. In this day, we did also host, me going a little bit back and forth, so bear with me here, but we did also host Paralympics of Great Britain and Northern Ireland at this event. We did also host our community leaders, and this was to elevate our visibility in adaptive leadership in Burbank, so to forward our programs in adaptive sports. Here are some more highlights. To the left, you have the initial kickoff of the match right there, and then to the right is just a quick glimpse of each individual player that had a little brief interview during the match. To continue on in the progress and the update the City of Burbank has been making for the World Cup and the Olympics. Sorry, give me 1 second. Oh, going too ahead. That's the last page. Going back to the October of 2025, the City of Burbank was part of the Southern California Badminton Association meet and greet. This was a discussion of Olympic and Paralympic planning for Los Angeles 2028, with more discussion on the overall aspect of work that will be involved with the planning for Burbank to host teams and events in Burbank. We also did have a 88 for 28 event hosted at the Kenneth Hall of Administration. This was about live fan zones or live sites and fan zones for the Los Angeles Olympics in 2028. Attendees included city managers and department heads of parks, cultural affairs, and community development. Purpose of this meeting was to best gather information to inform local fan zone planning, as well as overall scope of work that will be entailed with the events. Additionally, in November, we were hosted by His Majesty British Consul General Paul J.G. Rini at the British residence in Los Angeles. We did not fly out to London, but this was held here in London. This was an engagement between the team Great Britain and Olympian Tom Daley. And the purpose of this meeting was to strengthen ties to the international Olympic and Paralympic community. Continuing on, in November, we hosted again our first annual Adaptive Sports Power Chair Soccer Tournament. Lastly, in our most recent news, we did also have a hosting and creative partnership with Consul General Paul J.G. Rini again at the Warner Brothers Studios. Again, this was a meeting to position Burbank as a welcoming host city for Team Great Britain. Again, this was to highlight city's creative identity, entertainment industry partnerships, and value of public-private collaboration. Current and ongoing planning, the city's actively coordinating across departments for potential FIFA World Cup fan zone. Departments involved in this planning include Park and Recreation, Community Development, Public Works, and many other departments. The focus areas of these are site feasibilities, operations, public safety, community impact, and our goals: inclusive, accessible, community-centered experience. Looking ahead into what's going on for the 2026 World Cup and LA Olympics, or LA 2028 Olympics, facilities are being evaluated for accessibilities and athlete readiness. Planning is already underway for the 2028 Burbank Adaptive Sports Expo, and the city's continuing to pursue additional funding through LA 28 and the U.S. Olympic Paralympic Committee. And with that, that is the updates for the World Cup and the Olympics.
Thank you, Edgar. Excellent
If there
presentation.
are any questions, let me know. I also have Diego Ceballos here.
I just want to applaud our city and especially our department on this, the adaptive program that is just really taking off, and I just see it getting nothing but better and better. And I applaud our department on really bringing us together. And we've always been invited to the February 21st event at McCambridge. The Veterans Committee and the VFW have been invited there, so we'll be there. We're looking forward to that. But thank you again, Edgar. Thank you for working with us.
No?
Thanks. Okay, number 2, Burbank Athletic Federation Board appointments. Mr. John McGinley.
All right. Good evening, Chair DiPaolo and Park Board members. My name is John McGinley, Recreation Manager over Sports and Aquatics. This evening, I am pleased to present a recommendation for the appointment of 2 longtime volunteer and community members to the Burbank Athletic Federation Board. The BAF Board is composed of 7 sports and civic-minded individuals who are dedicated to carrying out the mission and objectives outlined by the BAF Constitution, bylaws, and regulations. Each board member serves a 3-year term on a volunteer basis, and the Parks and Recreation Board is represented on the BAF Board as a non-voting liaison. Since January 2010, appointments to the BAF Board have been made by the Parks and Recreation Board. Currently, there are 2 vacancies for 3-year terms beginning in January 2026. The openings were promoted through the city website, social media platforms, myburbank.com, email outreach to all sports teams, and current BAF members. An interview committee consisting of 2 Parks and Recreation Board members, 3 BAF members, and city staff reviewed applications and conducted interviews in order to make a recommendation to the board this evening. A total of 4 applications were received and interviewed for the 2 open vacancies. Based on qualifications and interview performance, the committee recommends the appointment of Larry Nelson and Dennis Roy. Both are incumbent board members who have demonstrated ongoing commitment and leadership within the BAF. I've had the pleasure of working with both for many years, and each have been inducted into the City of Burbank Walk of Fame for exceptional volunteerism in sports, and both continue to make a meaningful impact in our community. Larry and Dennis are here with us this evening in support of their appointment. Staff respectfully recommends that the Parks and Recreation Board appoint Larry Nelson and Dennis Roy to fill the 2 vacancies on the Burbank Athletic Federation Board for the 3-year term beginning January 2026. Thank you to the board for your support and participation in this process and for the continued partnership with the Burbank Athletic Federation. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, John. I'd like to introduce the 2 gentlemen. If you could please stand up and be recognized. Congratulations. Thank you guys very much. I've known Larry and, excuse me, I know these 2 gentlemen for several years when they were real young. But we go back to the early 80s, and to say these 2 gentlemen have really volunteered several thousands of hours to our city's Park and Recreation Department and coaching and mentoring youth. So I don't think we could have made 2 better choices. I encourage everybody that out there listening and to the people that interviewed this past board selection process to, by all means, keep in tune and submit your applications once again. Because eventually we're going to have an opening, and hopefully you'll come back and try again. But I just want to congratulate Dennis and Larry, and have a great 3 years, and we appreciate all you do.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
If I may, we do need a formal vote on this. So we need to make a motion,
okay.
a second, and then we'll do roll call.
I'll make a motion that we, both these 2 gentlemen are okay, their nominations as BAF board of members.
I second that.
All those we take a vote? Okay, go right ahead. Good old parliamentary procedure, and I'm screwing it up, so go ahead. Yes.
Vice Chair Brody? Yes. Board Member Asadi?
Yes.
Board Member Gamino?
Aye.
Board Member Sterling? Yes.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations, fellows. Okay, moving on. Number 3, approval of funding allocation for the Burbank Arts Grant Program. Miss Erin Barrows.
Good evening and Happy New Year, Chair DiPaolo and members of the board. I'm Erin Barrows, Recreation Services Manager of the Parks and Recreation Department. Tonight, I am thrilled to share an update on our 2026 Community Arts Grant Program, an initiative that invests in local artists and enriches our community through accessible cultural experiences. Sorry. You don't want to look at me, you want to look at the screen, trust me. So, let me make sure I'm at the right place. Sorry. There we go. Okay. So to further this mission, the Parks and Recreation Department, in partnership with the Burbank Cultural Arts Commission, launched the Community Arts Grant Program in 2023. This initiative is designed to support local artists and arts organizations while fostering meaningful engagement among Burbank residents through diverse and high-quality cultural arts projects. The program offers grants ranging from $1,000 to $5,000 to fund visual and performing arts projects that encourage community-wide participation and deliver enriching experiences for all. Applicants are encouraged to propose projects that educate, entertain, and inspire, promote awareness and appreciation of the arts, address community needs, and celebrate Burbank's cultural diversity. Sorry, I'm going too fast. The program specified key eligibility criteria, including residency or base of operations in Los Angeles County, completion of projects within Burbank, and direct service to Burbank residents, businesses, and visitors. Preference was given to projects with public benefits and interactive components with specific guidelines outlined for individual artists and arts organizations. Areas that were not eligible to apply for the grant included administrative and operational expenses, programs that are not accessible to the public, projects held, performed, or exhibited outside of Burbank, and arts education or teaching programs. The program's third funding cycle, yes, the third, which is very exciting, totaling $61,500, launched on September 8th, 2025, with the application window open from September 9th to October 17th, 2025. Application details and instructions were available on the city's website, and outreach was conducted through email, social media, and third-party platforms, including the Los Angeles County Department of Arts and Culture. To assist applicants, 2 virtual workshops were held on September 17th and October 1st, 2025, offering comprehensive guidance on application completion, eligibility requirements, evaluation criteria, and available resources. Recordings of these sessions were posted on the city's website for those unable to attend, and staff, along with our absolutely phenomenal art grant consultant, Christy Lisinski, provided individualized support as needed. Applications were evaluated based on several criteria: artistic quality and merit, community access and impact, project viability and managerial and fiscal competence, cultural equity and inclusion, and Burbank residency credit. Each criterion carried a specific point value, contributing to the overall score for each application. The initial review conducted by staff and our program's art consultant assessed all applications, artistic documentation, and support materials to confirm eligibility. Of the submissions, 36 applications were deemed eligible, while 10 were found to be ineligible, with applicants being notified via email for the reasons of their ineligibility. Some fun facts for you. Of the 36 applications under review, 61% were based in Burbank, 75% are new projects, 61% were individual artists, with 39% being nonprofit arts organizations, 60% were performance projects, so it was 22 overall. 9 of those are theater, 6 are dance, and 7 were music. 17% visual art projects, 17% multidisciplinary projects, and then 6% were other, so short films, and we had some film media arts. Before the panel meeting, panelists reviewed electronic copies of applications and artistic work samples, providing preliminary scores based on provided criteria. On December 9th, 2025, a peer review panel comprising of 5 experts in music, dance, theater, and nonprofit management assessed the 36 eligible applications. Staff attended as observers. Our grant peer review panel consisted of Mercedes Cooper, who is an executive vice president of public programming for Array, Andy Gersh, who works for Judson Studios, Ravita Goyle, who's a singer, songwriter, producer, and audio engineer, Shenandoah Harris, who was an applicant in our first and second phase, but is also the founder and director of Psychopomp Dance Theater, and Stuart Irell, who's an artist, director, and producer, and has worked in nonprofit organizations in the past. Under the guidance of the art consultant, the panelists deliberated on each application, exchanging professional insights and allocating scores according to the established criteria. Conflict of interest declarations were addressed, with panelists evaluating applications on a 105-point scale. There was an extra 5 points for Burbank residency. Detailed information, including scores, comments, rankings, and grant allocations, was documented in panelist scores and grant recommendations. Subsequently, this comprehensive evaluation was relayed to staff for further processing. Award levels were determined based on scores, available funds, request amounts, and qualified applicants. Decisions were final, with comments documented and available upon request to applicants after grant award announcements. I will have to say that our art grant consultant and myself and Jocelyn Pelaez all do we try our best to give as much feedback to all the applicants, whether they are recommended for funding or not, to help them along the way and as they go into an additional funding cycle. Of the $61,500 available for the project grants in 2026, I'm happy to report that we are giving out the entire $61,500 being distributed amongst 18 of the grant or 18 awardees. Funding was designated for various purposes, including artist compensation, production exhibit cost, marketing, rentals, and supplies. Grant recipients were encouraged to utilize matching funds, although it was not a requirement. Funds will be dispersed in 2 installments, with expenditures required within the project period from March 1st, 2026 to February 28th, 2027. Staff will collaborate closely with grant recipients to develop comprehensive public outreach and promotional strategies for their performances. The city will actively endorse sponsored performances through its website, email, newsletters, and social media platforms. Upon project completion, grantees must submit a final report with a detailed budget and expense documentation to receive the full payment, or the final payment. Grantees who accept funding may be subject to potential audits by the city to verify the appropriate utilization of grant funds. Failure to sufficiently account for grant fund usage may result in the grantee's ineligibility for future city funding. And if the proposed project is not finalized by February 28th, 2027, awarded funds must be returned to the city of Burbank. The department and the Cultural Arts Commission are enthusiastic about supporting local artists and arts organizations through the Community Arts Grant Program. This initiative seeks to broaden community access to the arts, diversify arts programming, and provide essential backing to artists and arts organizations. Staff recommends that the Parks and Recreation Board consider the recommendation from the Community Arts Grant Program panel and approve the allocation of funding for the 2026 Community Arts Grant Program awards totaling $61,500. This concludes my report. I would be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Mr. Mercer.
Thank you, Aaron. I have one question, and maybe you guys have done this. Maybe my memory is just not as good as it used to be. So the project period ends February 28th, 2027. What happens after that? Like, are they highlighted in some way? Are they showcased in some way? Like, or does the money go to them and then you guys see it? Thanks a lot. We're done. See you later. Or how does the community see like what they did and like to showcase it out, I guess, or highlight it?
Yep. So we do several things. So first of all, we actively work with each of the recipients to make sure that we get their marketing materials so that individuals are aware of the events that are taking place, because the biggest thing is, the first step is to get them with money for their events, but the second thing is to get people in the seats so they're actually seeing these and being exposed to it. So we work with them to post their marketing materials. We do have on our City of Burbank website, we have a cultural arts webpage, and we highlight the grant awardees. So 2024 grant awardees are listed there, 2025 grant awardees are listed there, 2026 will be too. We do a press release. I will tell you, sometimes we do not have the exact date and location of each grantee when they receive the funds. As part of the application period process, they do have to, we highly encourage them to give us a venue letter. So it shows that they've started conversations with a venue to find a place to house their event. But sometimes they are waiting to see if they get grant funding, to see if this project is even able to go forward. So we do our best to try to get as much information from them at the beginning and put out a press release, again, to get the information out so that people can see what's coming up. And then we just continue to highlight along the way. And then we invite each of the awardees to come to, we span it over to Cultural Arts Commission meetings. So we invite them to come and give a brief overview of their project. And Cultural Arts Commission has a pretty sizable attendance from the public that comes to our meetings the second Thursday of every month at 9 a.m. So it's a good way for individuals who are in there to hear about these. And it gives the grantees an opportunity to network with some of them. So there's one gentleman who has the Burbank Blah 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 magazine that will also help to market these events and put them out there for us. You're welcome.
That was a great presentation, Aaron. I'm all about this project and the work that you're doing on it. Is there a ceremony where all the awardees get together? I know back when I was on the very first phase of our painting our utility boxes, we would have a kind of a reception for everyone that was selected, and it was really wonderful. Do you do anything like that for the ones that are selected?
We haven't done that at this point. What we do is, like I said, we invite them to come to our Cultural Arts Commission meeting because the commissioners are really excited to see and actually meet these individuals in person and hear about their projects. We've talked about having something come to possibly city council to recognize them there, but depending on where individuals are coming from, sometimes it is difficult to get everybody in the room at the same time. But that is something that we can think about down the line.
I just remember for the, you remember that, Marissa? I'm sure
Yeah.
you were the one that organized it, and that was really a neat thing to see everybody, all the people that had been selected. What do you think, Erin, about having someone from the Parks and Rec Board on your panel review?
We can definitely look
you
into
don't,
that.
right?
No, we don't, and we try to change our panel every year. I would be more than happy to have Chad share like the nomination. So we ask our panelists to be nominated. They can either self-nominate or somebody can nominate them. And we do have a form, a JOT form that is filled out. And what we try to do is once we have an idea of all the different genres of our applications, we try to get somebody that has a level of expertise in those different areas. So I would definitely be more than happy to send that the nomination form to you for you to nominate yourself and look to see if we can have an individual from Park Board on there, not necessarily as a Park Board member, but maybe just for your experience and expertise that you have in the arts.
I mean, I don't know what my fellow board members think, but this sounds like a neat idea to have a rotating member of Parks and Rec be a little bit more involved. I would like to be. I can tell you on that utility box thing, I was on the committee that got to meet and review, and it was just the talent in this town, you'll burst out crying how much there is. So I don't know, Marissa, if you would want to have a Parks Board member, as a Parks Board member on that peer review, but I would be interested.
Certainly, it's up to, we, the staff and our consultant have developed this program, right? From its inception. And certainly I think I would love to, talk more to staff and our consultant just to understand. I wholeheartedly agree that this could be a really good opportunity for a park board to be involved and engaged. What I want to make sure is that we have that balance of, making sure that what the role of the committee, because they're very, this is a grant and there's expectations that we want to make sure that we have the right people. That's not to say that a community member can't be part of that, representing a component of the selection process. So happy, maybe further down under additional agenda items, if this is something that the board wants staff to bring back, we're happy to do that.
I guess I just want to say, that, Erin, the criteria that you've set out, whether you are an artist yourself or not, are the things that we value on the Parks Board. And I think that's what we bring to the table, maybe above and beyond, experience in dance or theater or film, but we bring the values of the Parks and Rec Board and of our city to the table. And I don't know, I think that has some value. I mean, it sounds like you're doing a great job. I just think it's so great. We might like to be a part of that. So, yeah, something to think about.
This is just my opinion, obviously. I do like that you want to get the park board involved and in this or in other areas, and I I'm not taking away from that, and I love your enthusiasm. I love that you want to get involved. My only thing is, this is a pretty specific program for people within the arts, and I think I don't know if I would necessarily say there should be always a park board member, because like right now, maybe one or two of us are actually legitimately qualified to go in there and evaluate these people. And I would say I am, if there was something sports related, 100% I would be, but arts related, I love arts, but I'm not in any position to judge anyone on a project or anything like that. So I would just say I wouldn't necessarily make it a mandatory of a park board to be there, but more like as Aaron said, if you're interested, like definitely put yourself out there. And I don't know if I'm reading that correctly, but and not to take away from what you're saying, because I think what you're saying has a lot of value. But if there's no one on that's qualified enough to make those kinds of judgments, then I just wouldn't necessarily want to put it on the staff or the program to have someone that maybe isn't qualified.
And what I will say too, I'm sorry, Chair DiPaolo, but what I would say is we bring our recommendations to the board for your approval. So I think there's something about not having anybody on this board who's going to approve the funds to maybe be in that initial recommendation, correct? Like to try to keep it very fair and unbiased. We do tend to have a commissioner on, a cultural arts commissioner on it, and we rotate it each cycle, but the commissioners aren't the ones who are approving the final recommendations. We bring that to this board, and there's something I think that's nice to have no involvement in the initial stages of it, to come here to you with just like kind of a clean slate for that approval. But we can definitely look into that possibility, or like I said, as an artist or art enthusiast, have you nominate yourself.
I think we need to put this as an additional agenda item. Yeah. I think we're discussing too much right now. We need to agendize this thing for the next meeting or the meeting after. Okay? Thank you, Aaron, for the wonderful presentation. Any other input from my colleagues? Thank you, Aaron.
So I do need you to make a motion, please, to approve.
Yeah, we need to make a motion. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the $61,500 for the Community Art Grants Program.
Second.
This is Robbie, I'll second.
Okay, Chair DiPaolo,
Yes.
Vice Chair Brody,
Yes.
Board Member Asadi,
Yes.
Board Member Gamino,
Hi.
Board Member Masurlian.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Aaron.
Congratulations to the grant recipients.
Park and Recreation calendar of board meetings. Mr. Edgar Manukian.
Good evening again, Chair DiPaolo, members of the board. My name is Edgar Manukian. I'm here today to discuss the Park and Recreation Board's upcoming calendar of board meetings for 2026. The board meets regularly on the second Thursday of every month at 6 p.m. in the City Council chambers. Traditionally, the board has selected to go dark for 2 meetings, one in the summer and 1 meeting towards the end of the calendar year. For planning purposes, staff thought it was appropriate to have the board discuss this matter and determine whether they wanted to have any dark meetings this year. Throughout the calendar year, the City Council, as well as many other boards and commissions, go dark for various reasons. In particular, meetings are canceled during summer months and/or holiday month seasons to provide board members and staff with an opportunity to focus on other projects, spend time with their families, or go on vacation. Notably, public participation in meetings can be impacted around holidays. Thank you.
July is usually 1 month we go dark, and December. Is there any other discussion as far as any other additional time we want to go dark?
No, this is my 5th year on this, and that's what we've done, and it seemed to work really well. Kind of breaks up the year with July, a lot of people traveling for summer and the holidays, so I think it's still the right thing to do.
So I'll entertain a motion. I'll make a motion. The month of July and the month of December of 2026 that our board goes dark.
I second that.
We have a roll call, please?
Yeah, Chair DiPaolo,
Yes.
Vice Chair Brody,
Yes.
Board Member Asadi,
Yes.
Board Member Gamino,
Yes.
Board Member Masurlian.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Edgar. Oh, consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered routine by department staff and may be enacted on by the board by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless, before the board votes on the motion to approve the recommendations, board members, staff, or public request specific items be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Removed consent items will be discussed separately. And the consent items include approval of minutes, city council agenda items update, contract compliance, police park patrol report, Dick Clark Dog Park progress report, departmental operations update. Do anybody want to discuss any of those?
This is Robbie. I'll move to adopt the consent calendar.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion to second.
Chair DiPaolo,
Yes.
Vice Chair Brody, Board Member Asadi,
Yes.
Board Member Gamino,
Aye.
and Board Member Masurlian.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, no tabled items. Additional comments from the board? Any comments? Okay. This is something that I'm honored to read tonight, and before we adjourn our,
We have one more item is
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it.
introduction of additional agenda items.
oh, yes, any introduction of any new agenda items, I'm sorry. We don't want to bring up the, what we just talked about with the grants?
No.
Okay. No additional agenda items.
Yeah. We have another time. Why, did you want to?
I will have a conversation with Board Member Brody, and certainly if at a future time there is a desire to put an additional agenda item on the grants program, we're happy to do that.
Okay, thank you. And now, going into the adjournment, sorry for that mix-up. The Burbank Park Recreation Board adjourned today's meeting in loving memory of Tom McDonald, who passed away on October 15, 2025, at the young age of 63. Tom McDonald has been a lifelong lover of sports, encouraged by his parents to play alongside his brothers and experience the physical, emotional, and social benefits of team play. He excelled as a high school athlete, particularly in football, and learned firsthand how sports can positively shape a person's life. Wanting his 3 children to enjoy the same lessons of teamwork, sportsmanship, work ethic, and camaraderie, Tom devoted himself to coaching, managing, and sponsoring many Burbank Parks and Recreation teams. His favorite memories include watching his children play on the same fields where he grew up playing. As an adult, Tom remained active in Burbank sports, participating in men's softball, adult basketball, and volleyball leagues, and the competitive adult passing league, often bringing humor, skill, and energy to every game. In 1999, Tom joined the Burbank Athletic Federation, serving for 14 years and helping improve facilities and programs across the city, including major renovations at Maxim Park and Schaefer Field, in addition of automated lighting. Tom was inducted to the Burbank Walk of Fame in 2015. Tom's greatest impact, however, has been his generosity and commitment to volunteerism. Inspired by his childhood coach, he has dedicated thousands of hours and significant financial support for the Parks and Recreation programs, youth and adult sports teams, and city organizations. He is also the founder of Life to Give Children's Charity. The Burbank Park and Recreation Board proudly recognizes Tom McDonald for his dedication, leadership, and lasting contributions to our community. His passion for sports, mentorship, and service has made a positive impact on countless lives and continues to inspire others. We will respectfully adjourn this meeting in his honor. Our sincere sympathy to Tom's wonderful family, and I had the privilege of knowing Tom from his youth, hanging out at Verdugo Park and coaching my son in Viking football. And I say, rest in peace, Tom. You left a wonderful impact, and I'm sure you're resting with the Lord, living a wonderful eternal life. Thank you. Our meeting's adjourned.